The DCFandome event was this weekend. Let's talk about all that went down in terms of DC movies, and I'll share my first reactions this week in movie space. What's up, guys? It's John again from Movie Space, and we're going to talk about all the things that went down at DCFandome this weekend. A lot of crazy news about upcoming DC movies. We got a lot of first looks at some of the new releases, and people are getting really excited about what's coming up for DC. And so I wanted to just kind of recap what went down, especially as it came to the movies, and share my initial thoughts of what we saw and what we learned. So I'm gonna hit these things really quick. I don't want this video to go on forever, because I'm sure it could if I spent too much time on everything. But wanted to just touch on all the movie news real quick, share my initial reactions to it, and then would love to hear what you all thought about it. So at the top, let's cover Wonder Woman 84. So this movie is the one that is expected out the soonest. This movie's been, I think the director said this movie's been ready to go for a while, but we did get a new trailer for Wonder Woman 84, and definitely saw some more images and some more things from the film to get people excited about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone. I am definitely looking forward to Wonder Woman 84. Obviously, Wonder Woman, the first movie, is considered to be one of the best from the current slate of DC movies. And I don't think any differently. I don't think it's probably my favorite, but it's definitely a really good, solid movie. And I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel here. I think my one hesitation is, we've been seeing stuff from Wonder Woman 84 for a while now, and I do worry that we've seen a little too much. I mean, I'm thankful that we haven't really gotten into the plot at all. Like, I don't think anyone really knows from the trailers that they've released what the plot is, but we've seen a lot. I mean, obviously we've seen Steve Trevor, his return. We've seen now we've seen a full look at Cheetah. And so, I worry that we've seen too much in terms of the big highlights from the film, but, excited that we don't know much about the plot yet. So overall, looking forward to Wonder Woman 84. Nothing really changed my mind in terms of what we saw. And I'm just kind of waiting for this movie to get released already. Next up is what I'm going to talk about is the Suicide Squad. So James Gunn, his turn at the helm of this franchise. This movie looks ridiculous. Like, I don't have any other words to describe it other than this is going to be something like we've never seen before. Like, that is my reaction to this thing. Just the craziness in terms of the characters, the number of characters, the action sequences that they hinted at, the silliness of some of the characters, and just the ridiculous nature of what this film seems to be. I am super looking forward to it, just because I think it's going to be brand new. It's going to be something that we've never seen before. And, obviously super big fan of James Gunn and what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy for the Marvel movies. And so, super looking forward to Suicide Squad, and looking forward to kind of an official trailer whenever that does drop here in the coming months. Next up, we want to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, or Justice League Snyder Cut. I don't really know what they're calling it at this point, but obviously we got kind of a official kind of trailer finally for this. We've seen teases and glimpses over the last several months, but this was kind of the very first legit trailer for his cut of the movie. Definitely a lot of thoughts here. I mean, I am super excited to see his cut of the movie. We learned that it's going to be a 4-hour movie cut into 4 different episodes. So it sounds like they're going to release it one kind of hour at a time, and then you'll be able to watch it kind of as one whole story. So that's a lot of material. Obviously the original film was capped at 2 hours, and obviously a lot of that was reshot. And so this is going to be a pretty dramatically different movie, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. I think the I think the thing I'm most excited about is just seeing more, like spending more time with these characters. Obviously, Justice League introduced like Aquaman, it introduced the Flash, introduced Cyborg, introduced a bunch of new characters, and in the theatrical version just didn't give them a much time to really get to know them or really understand who these people are and what they care about. And so I'm excited that it seems like there's going to be more of an emotional arc to these characters in this movie, in this version of the movie, and just excited to see how that contributes to the overall story. It seems like there's going to be a much more epic scale. The visual style is really striking. It definitely seems like it's going to be more in line visually to Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel. And be kind of a darker, certainly darker visuals, and it seems like the tone will be darker as well. That I will say, like, I'm not as excited about in terms of the darkness. I think it sounded like Justice League was always intended to be a lighter movie compared to Batman vs Superman, but what we've seen so far, it definitely seems to be in line with Batman vs Superman in terms of the dark nature of it. And so, not as excited about that, but I think overall, there's so much that we haven't seen here from the story, and just excited about it. And then I think finally, the only other thought I wanted to throw out was I cannot stand the aspect ratio that they're showing right now. I mean, I don't know if that's truly what we're going to see when it gets released, if that's going to be the aspect ratio it'll be released in. Maybe they'll give you a choice on how to watch it. But this kind of like 4:3 very square image, it makes me cringe every time I watch it. And so, it's one of those things where it would probably look awesome in an IMAX theater, because those kind of more vertical images obviously look really good in IMAX, but seeing that on your TV, it's just going to feel like the image is so much smaller, in my opinion. And so, I'm hoping that we will we'll be able to watch the movie in a better aspect ratio for seeing on your own TV at home. So before we get to the thing that capped off the day, which was the Batman, I want to talk a little bit about what we learned about Black Adam and the Flash movies. Black Adam, I'm really excited about the Black Adam. I think, The Rock, I think is going to kill it. I'm excited about just kind of like the mythology of Black Adam, and how, again, I don't know much about the character, but it seems like it's connected to Shazam. It seems like it's connected to kind of history. His history takes place thousands of years in the past, and so it seems just like a really cool, superhero story. And I know he's kind of like an anti-hero, and so it just seems like a really cool character to bring to the screen. And excited about kind of the other connections that story will introduce. And then the Flash, we learned a bit at the fandom. We also learned a bit about this last week. I think the big news there that they released actually earlier in the week was the fact that Ben Affleck is returning as Batman in the Flash movie. I'm super excited about that. I've always enjoyed Ben Affleck's Batman. I mean, I think there's some character decisions that they made that I maybe didn't agree with, but I think I'm really looking forward to his return, and I think it makes a lot of sense for him to be kind of the starting point of Batman in the Flash movie, because we're also obviously going to introduce other versions of Batman throughout this kind of multiverse movie. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about how they will kind of tap into the multiverse and show us something that we've never really seen before in the big screen, certainly not in DC. And then to cap off the day, they talked about the Batman. The Batman, coming from Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson, showed us the first footage. I think they said they've only filmed about 20% of the movie. And so, certainly what we saw is just a glimpse at the overall story. But we definitely got to see Batman in his full form. We got to see some of the other characters and villains in the story. And so, people are reacting to this. I think I think my initial take, honestly, is I'm not super excited about it. To be perfectly honest, I love Matt Reeves as a director. I think what he did with the Planet of the Apes movies is phenomenal. I love those movies. But I just feel like this is just too soon for this kind of realistic, gritty take again on the Batman. I mean, I realize that Batman is that type of character, but it just feels way too close to the Nolan universe for me to really get excited about it. Obviously, it's a earlier Batman. We're not going to see his full origin story, but it's Batman in his early years, and I feel like we've seen that in a dark and gritty, realistic universe in the in the Christopher Nolan movies that I adore. And so it's there's obviously so much more that we haven't seen, and obviously I will not judge a movie until I see it, but just I think from the initial looks, I am just not super excited about it, honestly. Like, obviously I'm going to see it. Obviously I'm going to watch it and judge it for what it is. But I think just in terms of, the slate of DC movies that I have coming up, I think all the other ones on this list that I just talked about, I am more excited about than the Batman, which sounds crazy to say that, because obviously Batman is one of the headliners from the DC characters. So that's the highlights from DC Fandome. Would love to know what you think. And let me know what you thought. What are you excited about? What are you not excited about? How did these things land on you? And of course, if you like this content, give it a thumbs up. Would really appreciate that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more of my videos. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.